Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar on stewardship in the Americas. So this is the final one in our series of this week. We already had two, one on Europe this morning, European Central Time, and one on Asia on Tuesday. I'm Catherine Markiewicz from Stewardship Professionals. Stewardship Professionals was founded in 2022 as a German-based nonprofit organization with one clear mission: to enhance the profession of investor stewardship. So in today's webinar, we will talk about stewardship in the Americas. Shifting market dynamics, regulatory developments, and growing scrutiny around ESG over the last years have brought us to raise one important question: are we seeing a retreat, a reset, or a necessary recalibration? So to explore this, we have brought together leading experts across the Americas, from the US to Chile to Brazil, and we share insights on what has fundamentally changed, where stewardship may be falling short, what is holding the line, raising the bar could mean in practice. But we will not only look back, we will also discuss how this moment will be judged 5 years from now, take a forward-looking perspective, and is it the beginning of a disciplined or credible area of stewardship? Before we move into the panel discussion, I'm pleased to hand over to my colleague Alexander Juschus. It's the CEO of Stewardship Professionals. If you have any questions during the webinar, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A section, and we will pick them up later and answer them. Alexander, the screen is yours.
Many thanks, Catherine, and welcome also from my side. Before we start the panel discussion, please let me share a couple of words on StePs and our core product, the Certified Stewardship Professional. We founded StePs. Oh, sorry. Yeah, to the next screen. This is a no AI picture. This is a city library of a city close to my hometown, but I thought it's a very nice picture with all the staircases and the bookshelves. It gives us the place of knowledge, basically reflecting our claim. That's why we use it in our presentations and on our website. I thought it's a really good fit. So yeah, we started StePs around about 3-4 years ago, and as a non-profit organization in Germany and the US. And US is a foundation, primarily because most of the funding was coming from the US. The original idea by Michael Brano, who's moderating the session today, Stephen Davis and me, was to develop a home for all stewardship professionals. That's why we wrote the StePs manifesto, highlighting that stewardship has become a profession over the years. I remember 15-20 years ago, when I was still a proxy advisor, my contacts within the various organizations were of different nature. I remember, for instance, DWS Asset Management. It was the press speaker. One of the biggest asset managers, you had to deal with the press speaker when it's coming to voting shares. Another large asset manager, it was the secretary of the CEO who was voting the shares. This has all completely changed. But we believe that the education, the training has not followed this development. That's why we developed the Certified Stewardship Professional Program. Also, with the idea to give all stewardship professionals around the globe a home. The program is based on a blended learning platform we have developed. I'll come back to that one of the next slides. And we provide the courses not only as a pure online course, but also in person to individuals and corporates, may it be virtual or in person. So for instance, we had some in-house course for large asset managers, which were quite successful. They already booked us for autumn this year. and but also for other institutions. We are fairly proud of our international coverage. So as you can see here, we are covering Americas, the complete Americas, from the north to the south. We're only missing Canadians and then some nations in between, but we cannot have everybody on the call. But we also have lots of support from Asian markets. We get instructors from Japan, from Hong Kong, from India, etc. And we also claim to have an international coverage. I will show you on one of the next slides. We also see ourselves as complementary to other existing courses and existing offers, so not as competitors. I think this is also important to keep in mind. The CSP curriculum is divided into 5 pillars. It was a very long discussion. You won't believe, if you have a room full of academics with lots of different ideas, how long it takes and how complicated it could become to develop such a syllabus. But I think we managed to develop a very, very good curriculum. We divided it into 5 pillars, as mentioned. The first one is for, let's say, juniors. So those who are more or less new to stewardship. In this pillar, we describe the board, why it is important to have an independent board, why remuneration plays such an important role. But also we cover an item, we have a course on a module on how to read and understand a balance sheet, because lots of stewardship professionals are coming from different areas. We have lawyers, we have people with social science backgrounds, and so on. The second pillar is on the hands-on approach. I'd like to say it's how you exercise the tools you have. How do you vote your shares? How do you structure an engagement? In particular, with engagement, we have a module on how to structure, how do you develop your negotiation skills so that you're successful with your engagement? How do you escalate when you do not achieve the goals, so securities litigation, and how you exit. The third pillar is about the policies. We have a deeper dive into the E and S. And the fourth pillar is the results. So here we look into the reporting, the assessment of all the work we have done before, and we also deal with the issues of transparency. So why all the 4 pillars before are fairly common across all markets worldwide. We cover in the 5th pillar market specifics. So I'm coming from Germany, and over here you might know we have a 2-tier board system, meaning supervisory board and the executive management are separated. They do not meet in the same room. We have employee representatives being on the boards, so co-determination. We also have completely different legal structures. So we do not only have the stock corporation, but we also have a Societas Europea and other legal forms. So we're covering that in the country-specific modules. On the right, bottom right, you see some of our instructors. Some you already might recognize. Some are also on this call today. Again, we're fairly, these are not all. We have around about 15 instructors altogether. But here you can already see that we are covering most of the important markets worldwide. A quick look into the learning platform. We have developed an online program. We say it's around about 66 hours that helps to prepare the students for the exam. We also have a book we provide, which was written by George Dallas and Mike Lubrano, to help preparing for the exam. Tomorrow we will have our 4th exam, so we are slowly developing, becoming more and more professional. And yeah, the platform is state of the art. It's very easy, digestible. The courses broken down into what we call nuggets, so that you can have look at a short video clip and then do some reading, look at some charts, play some little games. And on the bottom left, you see the members who are part of the Content Oversight Committee. So with this, I would like to pass on the words to my colleague, Mike. I'm looking forward to the discussion. Mike.
Thank you, Alexander, for introducing StePs and yourself. And thank you, Catherine, for kicking us off. My name is Mike Lubrano. I am Managing Director at Valoris Stewardship Catalyst, a firm that helps investors in their stewardship, governance, and sustainability work. Before that, I was an active owner investor myself, and before that, head of IFC's corporate governance unit. And before that, a Wall Street corporate lawyer, which is to say, putting all these things together, I'm an old man. But the common thread of my career has been working across markets at the nexus of institutional investors and the companies they invest in. I'm not sure I've learned a lot from these various experiences beyond 2 basic principles. One is that no market, no matter how large, can insulate itself from global developments, and that each market reacts differently to global shifts depending on the collection of complex local factors that drives those markets. So we've had some very significant global developments in the last couple of years, and we are here to discuss how different markets in the Americas are responding. Stewardship experienced a period of fluorescence in the Americas and institutionalization between, say, the late 2010s and the end of the COVID period. We had stewardship codes come into force, ISSB and IFRS S1 and S2. We had regulations on disclosure of environmental, social, and governance factors, development of private sector infrastructure. All this reflected in public positioning of investors and companies, including voluntary disclosure, targets and KPIs, and public statements about their commitments to governance, stewardship, and sustainability. But we're now in the period of some very public criticism of the very motives and purposes behind investor stewardship. During the StePs webinar for the European